Hello everybody, this is going to be my first video officially declaring myself anti-DSA. You may be wondering, what does DSA stand for? DSA stands for the Democratic Socialists of America. If you're not familiar with the term, you may have heard Democratic Socialist uttered by the likes of people such as AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Nick Hill, Ilhan Omar. There's quite a few. Bernie Sanders. People like this claim to be Democrats, but these are not Democrats. As the Persian Jewess, yes, it's a very cool name, says, the Democratic Party didn't suddenly become a radical leftist organization overnight. They were sabotaged from within by Zohran Mamdani's Democratic Socialists of America. Wake up, America. Your country is under attack, and you don't even realize it. This is true. Let's go ahead and try to watch the video that she's linked here. See if we can get it running.
It's no secret that the Democratic Socialists of America hate the Democratic Party.
I think we're all on the same page that we hate the Democratic Party.
The Democratic Party is not really our friend. It isn't.
So why are the DSA such major players in the Democratic Party?
That's a really good question. Why is that?
This odd relationship can be understood with the cuckoo analogy. In nature, the cuckoo survives by trickery. It lays its egg in another bird's nest. The unsuspecting parents raise the imposter as their own until the cuckoo grows strong enough to push the true chicks out. The DSA is the cuckoo inside the Democratic Party.
DSA is not the Democratic Party.
We must separate ourselves from the toxic Democratic Party.
We can put forward a clear, aggressive, principled strategy that pushes back against the Democratic leadership and the Democratic Party as a whole.
DSA candidates run as Democrats in safe blue districts. They slip through low turnout primaries. And once inside, they use the Democratic label as camouflage while advancing an extremist anti-American agenda far beyond the party's mainstream.
I don't agree with the Democratic Party, but it's a great tool.
The Democratic is a tool that we use.
Once in office, DSA candidates take orders from DSA's internal enforcers and working groups. City halls and state houses start running as socialist machines controlled by the organization, not the Democratic Party and certainly not voters.
So basically, the Democratic Socialist Party of America is hiding within the Democrat Party, and this is an organized people who have and can remove people's citizenship from this organization, their membership, and people will do a lot of things not to be removed from that, because this is a growing organization. I think in 2025 they have an official of at least 50,000 members, and they make quite a bit of money for socialists. And yeah, they're funded by foreign governments. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Governments? Okay. Like Qatar. There's a time that the U.S. used to put commies in prison or exile them. It is time to clean the house again. I agree with you, Summer. You're so correct. Anyway, I wouldn't just cover this story for no reason. I wouldn't talk about these people just because they're infiltrating elections. You know, hey, it's whatever. You know, they're beating Democrats out of their own game. Oh, but wait a second. These people might actually be the new Democratic Party, because as we know, the Democratic Party is falling apart, and these guys are the new contenders. This is the new Democratic Party. It's coming up beneath the Democratic Party, and they don't even see it. But something interesting that happened is the political party, the Democratic Socialists of America, want to free the terrorist Elias Rodriguez from jail after he murdered 2 Israeli Christians in cold blood in Washington, D.C. After Rodriguez initially shot his victims, he casually reloaded his gun, followed them as they tried to crawl away, and continued firing. He shot the victims a total of 21 times at close range. The DSA Libertarian Caucus, so the Democratic Socialists of America Libertarian Caucus has said, excellent statement that we are proud to add to our name to free Elias Rodriguez and all political prisoners. This isn't a political prisoner. This is a terrorist. But you'll notice that these DSA people, they don't mind calling all terrorists political prisoners. The Palestinian struggle is the tip of the spear against global imperialism. As imperialism has made the entire world a battlefield, it is justified to fight it by any means necessary, without regard for geography. This holds especially true for those of us struggling behind enemy lines. Inside the U.S., an entity that is an equal party in all crimes committed by the Zionists, whether in the Bezind Gaza Strip, the Red Sea, the south of Lebanon, or the heart of the United States, there must be consequences for genocidal Zionist imperialism, and those consequences are righteous. Do you see the terrorist in this quote? Well, there's one, Elias, yes, but there's also the DSA Libertarian Caucus, or just DSA for short. This is a terrorist organization who is saying that you should go ahead. See, they say, excellent statement that we are proud to add to our name. Okay, so they're taking credit for this statement. Any means necessary, including shooting 2 Israeli Christians 21 times at close range. And the people who are doing it shouldn't be jailed. That's political prisoning. That's political imprisonment to jail someone for murder. Political driven murder. That's what the DSA stands for, but you'll notice that's not anything special. This is who the DSA is, though. The DSA also has ties to the Charlie Kirk killer, so you wouldn't be surprised to hear that if you knew anything about these people. You can see Democratic Socialists shared the stage tonight to tell billionaire class, New York is not for sale, tax the rich. Look at these guys. You can see all of these signs. It's Zoran, 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 Zoran. Freeze rent. Child care for all. Okay, what that means is that you have to pay for all of their children. That's the kind of people who are freaking out about EBT. And look, Muslim woman, I don't even know what that guy is. Like, is this a man or a woman? The answer is woman. I don't know if they want you to know that. Like, absolutely disgusting people. Just, look, I don't even know what. His head is like 70% wider than it needs to be with his ears. And like, what? Okay, these people, absolutely useless. You'll notice, yeah, America's on this sandy beach in flames. It's torn down. These people are disgusting. Everyone knows it, but some people don't. And 50,000 people are joining these guys officially. And just like 2025, and this was back in July when that was announced, I believe. This is Newsmax saying Charlie Kirk wrote a 5-page letter to Israel PM Netanyahu. See, the reason why this is special is because this was actually reposted by the Democratic Socialists of America. They actually reposted this on their page. So they're the ones who actually did this. They said that this is true, that Prime Minister Netanyahu might have had something to do with this, but they're actually the ones connected to the Charlie Kirk killer. Here are some no kings, no bosses. No bosses? Are you against bosses? Like people shouldn't have a hierarchy within business? Oh, right. You're socialists, so you think that the boss should be the government. But actually, you're democratic socialists, so you think the boss of the government should be people. just regular people. Wait until you learn, once the government has the means of production, like in a true socialist country, your votes don't matter. You just don't get the choice anymore. You no longer have the choice to vote. The DSA affirms our fundamental right to free speech and assembly. We will not be intimidated by the Trump administration cronies, and we will continue our struggle for democracy to the end. If you want to live in a free society, join DSA. What are they talking about? Even this trans person, trans in Palestine, says, you're a toothless fucking liberal joke. Even the trans people see this. Even the Palestinians see this. Look at this. This is a communist that even know that these guys are jokes. Seriously. No one's going to take these guys seriously, but they're running for office and they're actually winning because they're inviting so many illegal immigrants across the border to win. You may actually not know this, but there's actually quite a few of these people in office. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez being one of them. This is what she had to say about Charlie Kirk.
House majority brought to the floor a resolution honoring, quote, honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's assassination was a horrific and vile attack.
That sounds nice. That sounds nice. What does she have to say about the man, though?
Incident of political violence. And
so glad she could admit that it's from political violence.
Condemning the depravity of Kirk's brutal murder is a straightforward matter.
That was almost a condemnation.
One that is especially important to help stabilize an increasingly unsafe and volatile political environment where everyday people feel more at risk.
I certainly feel at risk all the time.
We can deeply disagree and come together as a country to denounce the horror of this killing. And it is not a license for the abuse of power and whitewashing of American history.
Whitewashing? What?
Today's resolution only underscores the majority's recklessness by choosing to author this condemnation and honoring on a purely partisan basis, instead of uniting Congress in this tragedy with one of the many bipartisan options to condemn political violence and Kirk's murder, as we did with the late Melissa Hortman.
Who's Melissa Hortman?
Instead, the majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who endured segregation, Jim Crow, and the legacy of bigotry today.
What?
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was.
What are we talking about? They literally just wanted to have a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk.
A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake.
She's fucking retarded. That's what she is. By the way, she's not intelligent enough to have the position she's in, okay? She's not. Clearly not. What Charlie Kirk actually truly said about the civil rights movement is that it was badly worded, and nobody seems to understand that. He says, that same bill is now being used to allow men into women's sports, and that's not what it was about. It was too vaguely worded. What they needed to do was word things in a better way so that you could actually say that, you know, these things are exactly what they mean and not 12 other things that you could interpret them as. He had no intention of repealing Black people's rights. Anyway, she also has authored the Green New Deal, which would have torn down every single building in America and rebuilt them from the ground up in supposedly more green and economic ways. So then, like, the world wouldn't end in 2008, or, well, when she said it, it was 2029. So, like, yeah, we're so close to the world ending, guys, because the global warming's, it's so scary. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant and sought disenfranchise millions of Americans from far from working tirelessly to promote unity asserted by the majority of the resolution. Go ahead and find me full context of anything he said that was anything like that. He was a great man, and we can continue his horrific assassination with the scourge of political violence without uplifting these ideas. No, you can't. You can't say, oh, he wanted to do all these horrible things, and then say, we could condemn it. We could condemn it. You have not gone out and said, I do in fact condemn it. You said we can. You said we could. You said we should, maybe. Maybe it was bad. It was bad. But do I condemn it? Probably not. Probably not. Just not what I want to do. This is Rashida Tlaib calling for Hamas supporters to mobilize and take over America. She is another Democratic Socialists of America candidate. That's how she got her place in the Senate as well.
That we are surrounded by was built on slavery and genocide and rape and oppression. Real change doesn't come from the cowards and warmongers.
Okay, so just so we're clear, she just said that America was built on slavery, rape, oppression, and all this other crap. What? Okay. Would you like a history lesson here? America, canonically, some people claim Britain was. America was the first people to say, hey, maybe slavery is wrong. And then, even if you argue that Britain did it first, Britain sent all the black people back to Africa. America said, you can integrate with us. You're equal to us. So, just so we're clear, just so we are clear, America is the best nation to be a black man in the world. America is the best place to be a woman in the world. America is the best place to be anything. Period. But, no.
In Congress, it comes from the streets. It comes from all of us mobilizing.
Change has to come from the streets and mobilization.
Seizing the power to resist and fight back.
We have to seize the power, resist, and fight back. She's at a Hamas event. This is for Hamas supporters, by the way. She's also election fraud, welfare fraud, marriage fraud, tax fraud, bigamy, Sharia law on U.S. soil. This is all the stuff that she supports. She supports Mamdani, Muslim congresswoman. Well, guess what? Now we're in Congress, and we're in every corner of the United States. Just so they don't get it, we're not going anywhere.
They just don't get what our government is willing to do to Palestinians. They are willing to do to all of you.
Okay, what do we do to Palestinians? Well, we give other weapons to other people so then they can take out the government that rules them, that is shooting them in the head. Oh, well, correction. What does Rashida Tlaib think or say that our government does to Palestinians, to all these Gazans? What does she say that America does? Oh, they say America commits a genocide on the Gazans, on Palestine, on all these people. And now she's coming out here saying, well, they're going to do the same thing to you. She is going out and saying, you are going to be genocided. It's what they're going to do to you.
It is no surprise to me, as the daughter of Detroit, that I see our government that has supplied the bombs and excuses Israel from destroying literally every single day hospitals, communities in Gaza, and manufacturing mass starvation.
Just so we're clear, no one's starving in Gaza unless the Hamas terrorists decide so. By the way, America stopped all that, so you're welcome. Also, the reason why Israel's bombing hospitals and stuff is because the Hamas terrorists are in those hospitals launching missiles from them. If you have a missile silo in a hospital, I'm sorry, that's against the Geneva Convention. And if you're going to break the Geneva Convention, I'm afraid I don't have a choice but to as well.
Is also the same government that's defunding healthcare and food assistance programs here in our country.
Cry about it. 49% on a conservative basis don't need it. They literally are coming out in droves saying, you want me to work 20 hours a week? You crazy. You're insane. Literally, you just have to work 20 hours a week. Everyone else works 40, 32, 60. Everyone else works. And these guys come out and say, look, that's what the American taxpayer does. That's what they do. Now we're going to rob you. These are the people who you're funding their life. You're funding these people's lives.
It is no surprise.
These people are sick. These people are stupid. They piss me off. Anyway, this is about Greg Casar. Greg Casar served on the Austin Council for 2015 to 2022, Austin, Texas, that is. He was elected to represent Texas in 35th Congressional District in the U.S. Greg has been called the fifth member of the squad, since his political values match up perfectly with everyone on the favorite Patriots, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Ayanna Pressley, and AOC. Greg is one of the sneakiest lying weasels to ever serve Austin Council and in Congress. He's the main protagonist behind the worst ideas in the history of Texas government, most notably defunding the Austin Police Department by $150 million in August of 2020. This is the same time where Black Lives Matter was burning down cities, by the way. Greg Casar has carefully manufactured an image that has never been questioned or challenged. Who do you think is going to investigate Greg Casar's background? The mainstream media? Nope. It's up to intrepid citizens to dig into Greg's background and raise questions about whether Congressman Casar is really the man he claims to be. My connections to Mexico and Iran are feverishly trying to connect and track down golden piece of evidence that destroys Greg Casar's image, brand, and credibility. If you can track down all this, your stuff, track down all this stuff, DM this guy, you'll be a real American hero. This is Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. If you have any information on Greg Casar, please text this guy, because this guy is a fraud, very clearly so. Literally in this, he starts talking about Elon Musk for some reason.
Elon Musk crashes and breaks everything he buys.
Literally not true. Tesla is usually at an all-time high. That's his own company. SpaceX is literally just the better NASA, which means that contrary to your belief that socialism is good, capitalism is good, because believe it or not, the thing run by a marketplace like SpaceX that is actually run by a capitalist is actually functioning. While NASA does pretty much nothing. Twitter is literally the best place to get news and follow all these people. You can actually search anything you want. There's thousands of things to search, and it's actually very effective and nice.
He thinks he can buy our government. We cannot allow him to crash and break our air traffic control system.
He thinks he can buy our government. I don't know where that claim comes from, but interesting.
Look at what happened when he bought Twitter. It just started crashing.
Look at what happened when he bought Twitter. It started crashing. Look at it now. One of the most popular social media apps on the planet.
Again, not a big deal if your app doesn't open one day. It is a really big deal if Americans don't know whether or not their air safety is protected.
Wait until you hear about this guy. He's in cohorts with Mamdani, which is also in cohorts with Hassan, who, by the way, two different Hassans, who both want 9/11 to happen again. Wait until you hear about that. Crazy. I know.
So this is, again, another instance where Elon Musk thinks he knows better.
That's Mehdi Hassan and Hassan Piker, by the way.
Than everybody else in the world. But in fact, he doesn't know anything about...
He doesn't know anything about anything.
How to make sure air traffic control works. He doesn't know anything about how to make sure that our Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid payments get out to folks on time. He
just so we're clear, Elon Musk is a man who literally runs several companies. The fact that you don't think he could figure all this out is dumb. You're a dumb person. You shouldn't be in Texas, that's for certain. How did you get elected in Texas? Right, forgot Austin. They vote for anything liberal. This is, of course, the aunt that Zohran Mamdani cried fake tears over. Here he is crying the fake tears.
Stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Oh, she didn't feel safe in her hijab. And then New York City subway. Wait a minute. Claiming she stopped riding the subway in 9/11 because she didn't feel safe wearing her hijab. Turns out she neither wore hijabs nor lived in New York City at the time. She lived in Tanzania. Isn't that crazy? Oh, by the way, people were like looking up, are you sure this is the right person? And like, yeah, it's the right person. This is exactly who he was talking about. Like, he lied. He's a liar. By the way, he supports 9/11, not publicly, but privately. Everyone that he talks to, and let's interview him. Pretty much all support 9/11. He's a terrorist in a little suit that pretends he's not one. Julie Gonzalez, another one of these. Communist. She supports communism. This is her literally walking out of her job, doing all this other crap, stupid stuff. She admitted that she wants to ban all handguns, which are semi-automatic and accept detachable magazines. Semi-auto pistols, which can be readily converted to accept magazines over 15 rounds, are unlawful. Dude, they had that in the 1700s when they wrote the law. Colorado State Senator Julie Gonzalez Denver is holding a press conference right now in a few hours to address ICE raids in Los Angeles. Get ready, Denver. Are the LA riots from this weekend headed to Denver? Why? Just a reminder, Julie Gonzalez charged her campaign $4,500 for a luxurious trip to Chile, and then turned around and got reimbursed from the taxpayers. Oh, that's cool. I love paying for all that. Marxist Colorado State Senator Julie Gonzalez wants to make sure illegal immigrants can stay in Colorado to pick peaches. Look, I love me some Palisade peaches, but let's not forget the immigrants pick the peaches we all love. ICE's mass deportations threaten the very workers who power the entire ag industry. Politics shouldn't be about playing games while our communities are under attack. Co-politics. Are they just allowed to say this? Am I not allowed to say this? Fucking immigrants, all they do is go around picking plants all day, as if that's important. I could do that. I could be making more money than I am right now doing that. I'd love to do that. Are you kidding me? Seriously? These could be American jobs. They're stealing our jobs. Senator Nikki Savall, he's another Democratic Socialist of America guy, just cordially provided a list of undetectable... He's against Moms for Liberty, by the way. This is just a group of moms who want more control over their local institutes of the school, saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't let trans ideology, these ideologies that are saying like black people were enslaved and that we need to pay them reparations and all this stuff. We can actually look this up right here. Moms for Liberty is an American conservative nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing parental rights in public education by opposing curricula and policies perceived as promoting ideological indoctrination, such as critical race theory and gender transition advocacy. So, basically, this guy, Nikhil Saval, is so desperate for children to be taught about critical race theory, which basically says blacks are the best people in the world and whites are the worst people in the world, and whites should all bow down to their black overlords. And transitioning children, which means genital mutilation of children, by the way, that's what it means. Their genitalia are mutilated when they're going under these surgeries. And even just things like puberty blockers, also genital mutilation, because there are changes that happen in your body that you will never recover from. You are literally torturing these children and saying, oh, well, you would like it better this way. You've convinced them that they want to be tortured, and you're sitting there, and now you've signed a whole bunch of stuff. Look at all these people. Never vote for any of these people on this list. Never vote for Nikki Saval. Never vote for Anthony H. Williams. Never vote for Vincent J. Hughes. Never vote for Jimmy Dillon. Never vote for Sharif Street. Is his last name actually fucking Street? His last name is actually Street. Or Christine M. Taragathayan. These people are literally trying openly to ban the idea that it's wrong to, like, get your children in a gendered cult. Gendered cult, not court. I don't know. But yeah, again, biggest story here is all of these people are within this DSA liberation movement, which actively supports freeing Elias Rodriguez, who murdered 2 people in cold blood, shouting "Free Palestine," as he casually reloaded his gun and shot someone 21 times after already shooting them, just because they were Israeli and Christian. And these people also support the Charlie Kirk assassin. By the way, AOC actually got kicked out for almost kind of condemning it. Also for being kind of pro-Israel. So AOC is actually not a member anymore, but that's how she got her state senate thing. But, you know, that's not important, honestly. She's practically still with these guys, just not getting paid by them anymore. But yeah, these guys, bad guys. They also have ties to a lot of different places, and the Young Turks, they have ties to that. Of course, they have ties to Hassan Abi. You know, my name is Hassan Abi. I love that song, by the way. It's a great song. I forget what it's called. I'm a communist with a Gucci bag. Got my Prada kicks. Gotta have my swag. Anyway, that's been a video covering the Democratic Socialists of America movement. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you like this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and until then, have a blessed day.